boy. Roman is the biggest bad guy character in professional wrestling.
Rev, when's the last time you got laid?
French Toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Can we tell the truth about Dusty sooner or later?
Bro,
like-
less people wanted that than are currently watching our streams.
And you know Vince, and you still think, are these true? It's like...
Welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
It's like these guys work on actual Hollywood sets and production, so they think they're so much above the rest of us. But it's like, hey, where are you guys now? None of those guys are here. I'm here. They can't fucking censor me this time. They can only complain from the comment section, which is all they're good for, because that's their personalities in a nutshell. Oh my god, we're live. I'm so sorry. There's no one here to tell me that we're live, so I was just kind of ranting to my friend in the corner over here. So sorry. Let's start over. Hi. Hey. Hello. Welcome to a Mark It Down production. My name is Skibbo. That's definitely my real government name. Look it up. And I'm here to talk to you about Monday Night Raw. And oh boy, what a show. We are a few weeks away from WrestleMania. And what happened on Raw? A whole lot of filler, but the good stuff was pretty good. The filler was not so good. And it's not really, it's filler as in I don't care about it, not necessarily that it was bad. But we'll talk about Raw. But just to get some of the major talking points, right? Just to give you an idea of what we're really going to talk about. We're going to talk about Cody Rhodes promo. We're going to talk about the last woman standing match. We're going to talk a little bit about the tag stuff and the IC title stuff, and maybe even a little bit about the Usos. And that's gonna be the most of it. Let's see. We already got comments here. I'm not usually having so many comments on the Raw fast forward. Chrome Knuckle, what a name. Is that Canadian? I'm sorry WWE has turned into this. Turned into, what have you been watching, man? This is an improvement from like 4 years ago. So it's like, I'm not saying it's blow away, but if you've been watching any time in the past, I don't know, 8 years, this is up there in terms of better years. Last 3 weeks, the product has been trash. 1 hour shows, commercial breaks, boring matches, long ass promos. Without advancing the plot, I can't watch this anymore. What have you been watching, man? Because I'm not even going that hard for these past couple of weeks, but I'm just saying, what did you think it was before that? Because it was it's trash a lot of the time. Raw's trash a lot of the time. So to make it this far, you've had to have sifted through a lot of trash. But this sounds like it's funny. You would get along with the other commenter, Eric. We've been watching Raw and SmackDown. Oh, okay. I can't watch SmackDown. I'm not into it. It's a Friday. I'm the people I like on Raw, which is why I suffer through the 3 hours. But like, I feel you. Sorry, poor soul. You've been watching SmackDown. I get you. Anyway, where do we start? Honestly, I want to start with Cody Rhodes, honestly, because I think personally, I'm gonna take some water before I say this, just in case I start catching flack right off the bat. I think Cody Rhodes cut such a phenomenal promo, and I think he demonstrated something The Rock can't do, which is monologue. This return, I love Heel Rock. I'm so glad we have Heel Rock. You're welcome, by the way, Johnson suckers, lovers, whatever you want to be known as, because we gave you a better version of The Rock than you were going to get if we had it your way. But in all of his promos, which for the most part have been entertaining, he gets out of breath. He has long-winded run-on sentences, which is ironic for me to say right now. And he repeats the same things over and over again. Ironic for me to say right now. And he loses his way a little bit. Again, I see it. Cody will just go on a full-on monologue, my dude. He will he will speak so poetically and eloquently and get so many points across. And I think this is the best way I've been thinking about it, that I can properly put it into words. The Rock makes rock music, or not really. He makes pop music. The Rock doesn't make rock. He wishes he made rock music. He makes pop music, and it's catchy, and there's like an earworm factor to it, and it sticks in your head for those reasons. And I'll use buzzwords and trendy phrases, and that's why he can get away with something that if Seth Rollins called him a clown emoji, you'd be like, that's cringy as fuck, like Diarrhea to Drain was. But The Rock calls Seth the clown emoji. We're like, that's not. People are like, that's hilarious. It's like, no, it's just as cringy. It's just The Rock, and you like The Rock, and you like his delivery of it. The Rock is good at delivering punchlines. He's a comedic actor. Cody Rhodes in this promo showed to me that he's actually a better actor than The Rock has ever been. And The Rock can never play as serious roles that Cody's playing right now. The Rock can only play an alpha male or a comedic role, and that's it. Whereas Cody has vulnerability and inflection and changes tones in his voice throughout his promo when the diction demands it. And The Rock makes pop music. Cody speaks in poetry. And there's a difference. One's a lot more eloquent than the other. One's a lot more popular. No one's talking about poetry. I can't even name 5 poets that are alive. I don't know. Are any? I don't know. I don't know where the sidewalk ends. Okay, I can't name any poets. Okay, there's no way for me to know. Okay, goodbye to all of that. Okay, that's a poetry reference that the people who are getting along with this joke don't even understand, and I barely understand. But Cody is poetry. I I love this dude's promos. He pushed back against the PG guidelines that The Rock didn't have to abide by. A lot here. He called him an asshole. He called him a bitch. He called him a I can't remember the other one now, but he put into words in less time, but more impactfully, what Rock takes 20, 30 minutes to say. And again, I love Heel Rock. His shtick has been, I would say, 85% great, and then 15%, which is great. It's a great ratio for a guy who's pivoted on the fly, considering this was not his plan going into Mania. He expected to be unabashedly cheered, but the fact that Cody turned that on him, it basically preyed on his insecurities that he really needs to be adored by the crowd, and that he didn't get his way, and he was the one being a crybaby about it. That was a beautiful, beautiful touch. Chrome Knuckle. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong, by the way. How do you feel about Roman's spot? We only talk about Cody versus Rock now. We were only ever going to talk about The Rock over Roman anyway. That's the only downside of having the two interact, is that I don't care about Roman personally. I'm not a big bloodline guy. I'm not a big, really not a big Roman guy. I think his title reign has had 1 good year out of 3, and the other 2 have not been good, or a year and a half. It's been like 50-50, I could say. Like, there's the first 6 months were good, and then everything was bad until Sammy, and then the 6 to 8, 9 months involving Sammy were good, and then everything post Mania has been bad. So yeah, we'll settle on 1.5. But the thing is, I just don't care about Roman. So if he's being overshadowed here, I don't care, because this is better, because Roman versus Rock does no one favors but the company. What we have now does multiple people favors, including the company, and it's bringing more people up. The more people you bring up this, the better. Roman versus Rock wasn't going to bring anyone up. Roman can't go any higher. Yeah, cool. He beats The Rock. That's a huge feather in his cap that he can throw in. But the truth is, he's at the peak. That's the whole point. It's the peak. There's nowhere else for him to go upwise. It's just like, yeah, of course he beats The Rock. But now, Cody beats Roman. Cody beats The Rock, which I think Bloodline's going to win that tag match. He gets elevated. Seth gets elevated. And even further down, Drew gets elevated a little more. Everything rises. It's better to have more people involved in this than what we were going to have. There is no world in which I think what we were going to get is better than what we have now. And I will die on that hill at the peak, because that's what Roman can't go any higher from. But this actually gives his characters more complexities. Him feeling like the little brother to The Rock, that will play a factor into it, and that will actually make whenever they do have a match, it'll actually make it interesting, because I really don't think the story they were going to tell was going to be interesting this year. And yeah, The Rock is the final boss, like you said. The Bloodline will cross out the World Heavyweight title on Mania, like The Rock said, and then Rollins will take his frustrations on Cody, turning it on costing Cody his match. Maybe, and that's what they want us to believe. But there's also no point in Roman still having the title, and I think everything they're putting into place is just to make us doubt ourselves because we can't go in fully saying that one person's going to win. That's the beauty of this. When you take away all the craziness going on around it, is that we're going in where it's like, well, they could just fuck Cody over again, or he could finish the story. That's the beauty of it. But I think the story is being is going to be finished. I think, to borrow from his maybe best promo of all time, Cody is undeniable at this point, and it's time we stop pretending to deny him and just let it roll. People will riot. That's why they're doing it. Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, I don't think they're gonna purpose like they're clearly afraid of backlash. The Rock does not like negative PR, so I actually don't think that's the reason that they would screw Cody if they do it. But Seth needs a heel turn. Yeah, no, he wasn't heel that long ago, but I get it. But I mean, Seth's over as fuck. As much as I love heel Seth, so I'm never gonna be against the heel turn. I would say it's not necessarily needed if he's still getting, some of the biggest pops of every show he's on. So I think he's in a good spot right now. But I'm never opposed to a Seth Rollins heel turn because he's just great at it. He's so good as a heel. So I'm all for that. But this Cody promo, watch it. It's the most important thing from the show, I believe. And there were things with WrestleMania implications on this show, but this promo was far and above the best one, even though a lot of this promo was telling you to watch SmackDown because he's going to go face to face with Roman. And according to Paul Heyman, who came out after this, it's just going to be the two of them. There's going to be no Bloodline, no Seth, no Rock. We'll see about that. We'll see, but who knows? Who knows? I didn't say any of the actual words Cody said, but just believe me, it was poetry. He said really well drawn out things, or he made well drawn out points, and it was beautiful to watch. I'm always loving me some Cody. One thing I would like to see is Gable turn heel on Zayn and cost him the IC title match at Mania. We'll get into that. I have a lot of opinions on the Sami Zayn, Gunther, Chad Gable stuff, and I'm somewhere with you. I'm not right with you, but I'm somewhere along those lines. Heel Drew is all we need. That's a good point. Yeah, that's the thing. Seth can't turn heel right now because we got Heel Drew, and Heel Drew is the man. I'm going to take a sip of water. Talk amongst yourselves for 3 seconds. When is the draft going to be? I don't know. I'm hoping they do away with the draft and just trade since they both have authority figures now. I would like to see Pierce and Magnus just trade people. They don't have to have a full-blown draft. I don't know. I used to like the draft when I was younger. Now I don't care for it as much. I'd rather them just make some blockbuster trades, and do something like that, to spice things up after WrestleMania. But we'll see what happens. But that's usually a post-Mania thing. So maybe in the following weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks after, they can do something like that. We'll go to the top of the show. Jey Uso comes out, gets a big pop. It's nice to see however he is. Even though he's not personally my favorite, it's just enjoyable to see someone be so over and the crowd just be so into someone, even if they're not in the title picture or at the top of any part of the card. You'll love to see it, even if it's Jey Uso, someone I don't particularly like that much, but it's just nice to see someone be over. Jimmy for the win. What a promo by Jimmy. Oh, interesting. It's funny is I do think the words that Jimmy said were really, really good. But I thought his delivery was like really goofy. but not in like the Jimmy Uso goofy way, like I can't take you seriously way. But the content of the promo was good. Starting to think they pushed the wrong brother. I don't know, man. Look, I go based on which one has less DUIs, and that's Jay. So I guess he's the right one to push. But we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I do think there's a good chance Jimmy wins at Mania. So I'm kind of with you. It depends on what night it's on and how they want to really make us think going into this tag match. Like maybe he loses, maybe Jay loses, Cody and Seth lose. So now the deck is really stacked against Cody in the end. You're like, oh, the Bloodline keeps winning. They're unstoppable. Almost the reverse of last year where the Usos lost and then Roman won. Maybe the Bloodline wins night one, but then Roman loses night two. That could be interesting. But Jay cuts a promo, hypes up his match. Jimmy interrupts, and he cuts what is one of the better promos of his career. Jay is the worst at corpse, and he's by far the absolute worst at corpse. Man, you were so right. Jay said, "Hey, it was your idea to leave the bloodline. Everything I've done for you. I left the bloodline for you, and I joined to protect you. And what did you do? You went off and won the tag titles with someone else. You think Cody has your back?" And Jay, claps back at him and then actually just fucking claps him and punches him in the face. And then Solo comes in and the heels get the advantage, but Cody Rhodes makes the save, which I'm glad because I'm so sick of the wrestling days where people don't run out to save other baby faces that they're clearly friends with, just because like Cody's not directly involved in Jimmy versus Jay, but it's still bloodline related, so it's still adjacent to him. So why wouldn't he make the save? So he comes out, makes the save, they stand tall. Later on, they have a backstage segment where Jay's like, "Are you really going to go SmackDown alone? Like, I have your back if you need." And that's what I want to see because we're probably going to get that bloodline rules match. So I want to see Cody assemble his Avengers, and I want to see him get Jay. I want to see him get Seth. Like, even if Seth turns, I want there to be other baby faces to counteract that. I wish Sami Zayn was kind of involved in this instead of what he's involved in. There's a lot. This is going to be an interesting thing. James, what makes no sense? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're a child and I'm just saying you don't make any sense, but please elaborate further. Small child, assumedly. Plans for Solo has no plans. I'm gonna tell you that. He's just gonna be interfering in all the matches. He's not gonna have a match, I don't think, which is fine. He's got time. I don't think he needs a singles match. I think they pushed him a little too much too soon with the John Cena stuff, and now they're like, oh, we don't want this guy to beat everyone just yet, so they put the gas on real quick. Yeah, exactly. It's bloodline. Obviously, it should be Cody, but there's a world where WWE 8 years ago would not have Cody come out or whatever babyface come out, and it's like what that doesn't make any sense, But even if it was the Judgment Day, I think Cody should be coming out to save Jay, in this kinds of situations. Yeah, we'll get to Sami, but. Decent start to the show. Again, a match I'm not looking forward to personally, but it makes sense being on the card. I'm not going to deny that shouldn't be there. It's just like brother versus brother, and Owen versus Brett was great. Hardy versus Hardy, that wasn't. I'm sorry, small child James in the comments, but that match was a dud. So I'd rather watch fake brothers like Christian and Edge fight or Kane and Undertaker, even though I know I'm saying that hypocritically because they've historically never had particularly great matches. But, I'm just not super into the brother versus brother, but it deserves its spot on the card for sure. And the crowd's going to be hyped. The whole WrestleMania crowd doing Jay's, bounce thing. It's going to be fun. Then we had a tag match, DIY versus the Creeds for a spot in the ladder match. In a match I was so sure the Creeds were going to win because of their really strong push late last year. And then DIY just kind of won. And they're going to be in the ladder match, which is great. DIY is going to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be a ladder match. They're going to do some crazy stuff. I'm just surprised. I'm sure the Creeds will be in there somehow. Maybe they'll win a last chance battle royal or something, and they'll get the last spot. But I'm just surprised that these two teams went against each other. But this match was good. It's the same story as always with DIY. Crowd does not care. Crowd does not care. Go to commercial break. Come back. Crowd doesn't care. They hit that finals third though. The crowd comes alive. They get into it. They get their "This is awesome" chant, and they get a pop for the finish. It's crazy. It happens. Look into it. It happens almost every week. They come out, no pop, no pop. They start wrestling, no pop. They get worked over, no pop. The false hot tag, that first hot tag that's not really a hot tag in a tag team match, no pop. Commercial break, come back from break, no pop. That final third or that final 5 minutes, big pop. Big pops all the time. It's the DIY way. The crowd just doesn't care, but then they work so hard to make them care by the end. It's a struggle, but they hit the mark every time. It's pretty impressive. The only match the night for it. Oof, really? That's wild. I'm hyped for the women's matches, but that's fair. I mean, those are the most story-driven matches, those three, so it makes sense. I understand why you'd be the most hyped for those. But that's still, it's pretty good matches. They're going to be on there. So many botches in that. Yeah. Oh, God, I don't even sometimes point out botches. Just it almost feels redundant at this point. Like, yeah, of course, these guys are gonna botch. Oh my God, I'm with you, bro. Like, it made no sense. Remember when Ciampa came back from injury and like DIY was kind of a thing? Remember Dexter Loomis, by the way, or the way was kind of a thing, and they were gonna bring back Tommaso Ciampa, and everyone else was like, I don't know if it's a good idea, and Johnny was like, no, it's fine. There was never a story to come out of that. They're just generic baby faces. It's like, bro, it's Ciampa. Ciampa needs to be a freaking heel. What are you doing? Ah, God, and Ciampa's like the one guy that's lost to the Miz. So tag match is gonna be hot. Yeah, like for jobbers and undercarders, yeah, like it's gonna be a fun time, but like it's gonna be like, who cares? But then we're gonna have fun, so it'll kind of balance out. For a split decision for Mania, not split. I don't want the titles to be split. I just want them to float more. Like, just be on both shows more. Like, and that's fine because I don't think SmackDown has enough tag teams to warrant their own division. Personally, you're gonna have the Street Profits and carrying Cross's kids like fight after them. And yeah, I chose that acronym very carefully because of what I believe are Cross's beliefs. I don't actually know. I'm just assuming. But I'd rather. We'll see. Maybe I don't watch the SmackDown actually to really say that with authority. Now that I think about it, but whatever. We got some teams in the ladder match. Cool. We're backstage stuff. I'm gonna gloss over it. Candice and Indy beat Katana and Kaden Carter. Nothing match, just furthering Candice's heel turn where she is unsympathetic towards Katana Chance, FKA, Case Catanzaro, hurting her leg during the match, and then immediately locks in a viciously sloppy Boston Crab. Like, this was sloppy as fuck, but by design to make it just seem like reckless abandon. And Katana immediately topped out. Whatever, nothing match, but it furthers Candice's heel turn, so it did its job for what it was. Then we had the Cody stuff, which I already kind of talked. I was talking about how it was awesome. I didn't actually say what he said. More backstage stuff. Dom faced Ricochet. Who cares? I don't even know. This show's called the Fast Forward because there's things we're just going to fast forward through. Some of the stuff we fast forward through are recaps, but other stuff are just nothing matches and nothing promos. Video package wise, like they played a video package of The Rock's rock concert. I hit the fucking skip ahead 30-second button 5 times and the shit wasn't over. That's how long rock segments go, by the way. But one of the things I definitely fast forwarded through was Dom versus Ricochet. Love Dom. He's the best terrible wrestler in the world. No one's better at being terrible than him. And it's hats off to my guy. I'd rather him be facing Gunther at WrestleMania than Sami Zayn at this point, and that pains me to say. But, I don't care who won. I'm going to assume Ricochet did. But Sami Zayn, he's backstage with Gable, or he bumps into Gable, and he's like, hey, hold on, before this, I want to look at some comments. Look at Aldo Phantasma, LWO. Yeah, sorry, they've been fighting with each other for so long. I forget their actual teams and not just like faction warfare. Street Profits, fantastic. The only reason I want tag titles in SmackDown for Street Profits. Cross's faction, don't care about. Theory and Waller. God, I don't want to see Theory ever again. Waller could be a single star. Pretty Deadly, I'll take them. Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, that's something I'd be into. But what do we got here? Dom versus Andrade, or Andrade and Damian tag team in the future. Segment was odd. It was odd. I'm not an Andrade guy. So if he joins the Judgment Day, fine, because they could use another jobber in their mix. But Andrade does nothing for me. If it's Dom versus Andrade at Mania, I'm rooting for Dom 100%. Let's go, Dom. Andrade and Damian tag team. That's an interesting theory. If Damian's exiled from the Judgment Day and Andrade actually gets his back, that could be something that you might have something there. You might have something there, Chrome. Not gonna lie. We'll see though. But bro, nail on the head. I'm gonna favorite that comment. Because that's just the honest to God's truth. Andrade ain't shit, bro. That's just the truth. But anyway, Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn. If you watched the show last week, every rant I had about the ending to the show, I preceded it with, I love Sami Zayn. We all love Sami Zayn. And no matter what Booker T lies about on his podcast, okay, we need Sami to know that. We love you, Sami. You are not the guy to fight Gunther. Chad Gable was the guy. It is too late. You can't go back. I don't want them to make it a triple threat. I don't want them to force Gable into this match. I want them to live with their shitty decision. Their shitty decision that's going to have a great match at WrestleMania, by the way, but their shitty decision that was very evident on this show when we get to that segment, which we'll get to very shortly. But Sami goes up to Gable backstage, and Gable's upset, rightfully so. And Sami's like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I'm mad, bro. Understandably, he's like, and you know what? You can't beat Gunther. And he's right. But, Sami is offended. And then we go back. We go to commercial. We come back. Contract signing for their Continental title. And oh, man, Sami Zayn was in the big four of baby faces in WWE. It's Cody, Seth, Jay, Sami. The team that went into War Games. The most over, quadruple, whatever you want to call them. The most over 4 people in the past, how many years? There's never been that many top baby faces that actually over in so long. And Sami has fallen so far down because Sami should be competing at the world title level, not the Intercontinental title level, which he's had multiple times. So Sami didn't get his normal massive ovation. He just got a regular decent ovation. Throughout this contract signing, the crowd was not there. Sami always has the crowd there, but they were not there tonight. And yeah, they were in Raleigh, and that's not a real place. No one lives there. So it's a little tough to get a crowd when no one lives in the city. But they just weren't there like they're normally there for Sami. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. Or is it just minor fallout from a deflating decision last week to have Sami be the one to challenge Gunther? Sami tried his best. It was a good promo by Sami. It was a good promo by Gunther. I think Gunther's an underrated promo, by the way. But Sami Zayn should not be in this spot whatsoever. I just don't get why he's there. But he lost the crowd. Not lost the crowd. They're not going to boo Sami Zayn, but the level of adoration was not there because this isn't the compelling match. This is a good match, but it's just not the right match. So let me just go through some comments real quick. Crumbs with me. I've always loved Zayn since I was Generico stuff, but this was the wrong book. And they built Gable so much, and then they do that just because Zayn main evented last year's WrestleMania. Damn. Yes, the truth is, Sami Zayn, the only match that should have, could have, maybe been a triple threat is the World Heavyweight title match because he has the involvement with Drew. He literally said, I'm going to put the Drew stuff on hold and I'm going to fight for a lesser title while the guy I want revenge on fights for the bigger title. And it's just, it's so dumb because he was telling the story of how he is world championship material. But to prove that, he's going to win a mid-card title he's already won. And I'm sorry to disrespect all the hard work that Gunther's put into the IC title, but for Sami, this is a step down. For Gunther, this is a step down. This is not the marquee match he needed, and that's no disrespect to main eventer Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn should be in the main event, not in this spot right now. It's kind of crazy. What's up, Jay? What do you want to talk about? Raw, I guess, at a stretch. If you want to talk about other stuff, though, I might hear you out. The only way I see Gable turning heel on Mania and causing Sami Zayn the match, since Sami beat him last Monday, and then heel Gable could take the title from Gunther and get a push. Yes, but this shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't have to be in the world where Gable's turning heel now, because he was being heelish towards Zayn at first. But it's like, how have you fucked this up so badly that you think the solution is turning Gable heel? Like, this is the most Vince. Triple H has done his fair share of Vince things, as much as people like to praise him. You know, he has those Vince McMahonisms in him. And this was one of the most Vince-ish things he's done since taking over. This is like just so tone deaf and reading the room wrong. You're reading your own book wrong. You're reading the story you've been writing wrong. And it's so weird to me that how, like, do you think turning Gable heel, like you planted seeds for it's not on the show, is the solution? It's a problem you created. It didn't need the solution. Just give us Gable, and then you further Sami's story of not knowing where he's going to be at WrestleMania, and then you find another way to get him on the card. Like, holy fucking shit. I don't even care at this point what you put him in, but like, that wasn't the way to go. I just don't understand it. This was Gable's match to have, match to win. Bro, what the fuck is a rally? Yo, tell me about it, bro. I'm surprised you even capitalized it, because it's not a real place that doesn't exist. Exactly. It's not a Sami Zayn problem. It's creative's fault. It is a big, big L by Hunter. And like, Hunter doesn't take criticism well, so you could just call me a mark and like say, oh, people complain when they don't get what they want. It's like, bro, it's annoying when someone's telling a story and they make a huge pivot that's not the story they've been telling. That's frustrating no matter what. What genre of story you're reading. You know what I'm going to say? Braun would have brought the heat on like Vanilla Sammy and Chad. Well, first of all, Chad brings the fucking heat. But I do think Braun is a guy that could beat Gunther, because I don't think Sammy's going to do it. And if you're going to turn Gable heel, he's probably not going to do it either, because you're not going to beat heel Gunther with it. So, yeah, it might be Braun Breaker. And that, if Braun Breaker was an entrant in that gauntlet match last week and won, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We would just be looking forward to that match, because that match would hit hard. That match would slap. We would be fans of that match. But this is unfortunately not what we're doing. But hey, Braun's doing some fun stuff. You're not hearing anybody say bad things about the War Dogs. Everybody loves the Wolf Dogs. I'm so sorry. The Wolf Dogs. Everybody loves the Wolf Dogs. It would be wild. What do we got? What do we got from this child, James? Sami in a triple threat for a title, not the world title. What could go wrong? Yeah, what could go wrong? Genuinely, though, I don't want to see be a triple threat now. They fucked it up. They have to live with it. This is not one I think you can fix. It's like adding Kevin Owens to the match with Logan versus Orton because he main evented last year. Yeah, I actually think Orton's the one that doesn't fit there, because Owens had a rivalry with Paul and they had unfinished business. And their first match, Logan cheated to win. Their second match, I believe, had no finish, if I'm not mistaken. So if anything, Orton's the one that doesn't really make sense. Like, why did Logan just start a beef with him because he eliminated from the chamber, which is like a lazy booking because that's kind of how his beef started with Seth Rollins. But that match, and we've said this on our podcast for the past couple weeks, Logan Paul's match should be the ladder match because then you have Kevin Owens in there, you have Randy Orton in there, you have LA Knight and AJ Styles in there, and then LA Knight can win a singles title and all his fans can shut the fuck up. And then that would be an awesome match. That should be the ladder match. To be honest, I have no interest in a Logan Paul Orton one-on-one match. I barely have interest in the triple threat, but at least I know they're going to have some fun spots in there because Logan Paul's going to bump like fucking crazy. Let's see. Sammy move up with Seth brings him back closer to the bloodline, which would have been a nice circle back. Yeah, everything about Sammy's situation is so fucked. And like, Booker T, fuck you. Loved you as a wrestler, but as a personality, god awful. Sorry. Shut the fuck up. Sammy, don't let Booker T's don't ever listen to Booker T. Don't let anything he says affect how you feel. But if you're really offended, if you're really upset, if you really thought we loved you and you think we're upset with you, it's not. We want better for you. We're upset because this isn't the spot you should be in. And just know that, Sammy, it's not that we don't like you. It's that this isn't your spot. You should be above this. And that's no disrespect to Gunther or Chad, but that was their story. You should be in the world title scene. Don't listen to whatever nonsense Booker T said. Okay, this isn't us being entitled or turning on someone we love. It's just someone we love not being in the right spot. You're JB in the house. What up? You're not a mark for pointing out flaws. Exactly. I'm a wrestling fan, not a WWE fanatic. I can see bad moves Hunter has made also. Exactly. That's what I like to see. Facts. I think Orton should be helping Cody. Yeah, another guy that could be involved in this bloodline fucking war we're gonna have at WrestleMania, bro. He has unfinished business. Orton going to SmackDown was so dumb. So he can be in one fatal 4-way against Roman and not have a payoff. So fucking stupid. You could just put him on Raw, and then this is how he boosts Cody, and he's part of Cody's and story against the bloodline. It's so crazy. I miss the white. I miss funny enough, being a Cody. I miss Cody's IC belt. That was the best IC belt design in my opinion. Question what happened with Booker T. It said nothing. Booker T is a liar, bro. I don't believe anything this guy says. He lost all credibility when he got one over on us by starting a Twitter beef for Corey Graves just to have him on an episode of his podcast to prove a point, to try to discredit wrestling journalists, which is like a bootlicker move to do. You know, it's the kind of person that calls someone a sheep while they're the ones up for slaughter kind of thing, you know? I don't think anything happened between them. I think Booker T is just, he knows what's going to get clicks. Him, Bully Ray, they're hacks, bro. They're hacks, unfortunately. Oh my God. Remember Randy Orton being US champ? It feels like a lifetime ago. He beat it. And he lost to Jinder. Yo, Orton loses a lot of titles to Jinder Mahal. Bad habit. I don't think Logan is taking the LKO and Orton. Yeah, if it's only a triple threat, I could see Logan. And fuck it. Keep it on him. Why not? Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think it's an unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people love that belt too. I think you just want to feel contradictory and feel like you're a martyr when you just have an opinion that a lot of other people have. I just expressed my desire of a different opinion. You know, I think you're making a lot of something out of nothing. And I think when you start a sentence with unpopular opinion, you're just asking for attention and should go to therapy. You never see love? Oof. Maybe. And I believe that there was a more popular guy in the match that time. It should have been Rusev, but whatever. Not much else to talk about, but we'll blow through it. Awesome Truth qualified for the ladder match because fuck, because shit sucks. Okay, and like WWE makes no sense because it is the hotter product right now, and it is so fucking hot. They're packing up stadiums, but then like half their shows filled with garbage, like The Miz, and like I just don't get it, you know. Only title change hand, I think the tag titles, World Heavyweight title, and the women's title. Oof. I don't. The only reason I don't agree is because there's no way the Bloodline are winning everything. There's no way they're winning the tag match on night 1 and the singles match on night 2, and for them to not win the like, you know, if there's going to be no interference, Seth can't really cost Cody. So like I hope not. Yeah, they are gonna put the tag titles on R-Truth and Miz, and you know, it's remember when the tag titles main evented WrestleMania last year? Never again. Never again. All the credibility the Usos put into him, all the follow-up Kevin Owens and Sammy put into it, and then the little bit of good work and keeping that up that Judgment Day did, all gone. Immediately gone. Immediately. Oof. I mean, it's midnight. It's impossible not to be tired. You know, I don't know what part of Canada you live in, but it's midnight here. Are you East Canada? Like, you know, do you line up with us time zone wise? Or I don't know how deep you are in Canada. Well, I know like 90% of Canada is in like one spot, but you know, when is Priest cashing in? Hopefully never. Hopefully never. I want someone to run out of time. That's the idea. West Coast Canada. That's wild. That's awesome. Canada's cool. I want to visit Canada sometime soon. Bloodline loses night 1. That's even more wild. I can't imagine that world, but like, it'd be interesting. Portugal. Oh shit. We got Portugal up in the house. That's awesome. Welcome to the stream. What time is it over there? I don't know time zones that well, but that's cool. Another Money in the Bank L by Hunter. Yeah. The Austin Theory one, I'll say he inherited that L. I won't give him full blame for that because I don't think Theory was world champ material, but you should have put the Money in the Bank on LA Knight, Logan Paul, almost anyone in the match besides Priest, honestly. Or you should have had him cash in the summer. You should have had Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins and then have Damian Priest cash in. But let's see. We don't get that's fair. I mean, come on. What country doesn't have its leadership problems? Speaking of rematches that people don't want to see anymore in the year 2024, we got one in America. What's more frustrating, Priest Money in the Bank reign or same night cash-ins? Same night cash-ins, 100%. I hate them so much. First one was cool. Second one was okay. They've all been bad ever since. I'm so sick of them. I'd rather someone hold it forever than cash in same night. But, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to take one less sip of water, and then we'll slightly move on. Punk said he's going to be at Mania. Cool. But he's injured. So we'll see what he does. I'm excited for it, but, you know, it's only so much you can do. Maybe he gets involved. Fuck it. We're getting everyone involved. Maybe Rollins turns on Cody, but then Seth makes the save and sets up his probably match next year at Mania with Rollins. Fuck it. Who cares? We had another tag qualifier. New Day's in the match. Of course, they're in the match. They have to be, but like, uninspired. Can't say I care. Can't say I care about that. Who should be the next Money in the Bank winner? Chelsea Green for the women. Chelsea Green, hands down, is the only correct choice. Chelsea Green. For the men's. Dumb. Fuck it. Let's go both. Double down on the jokes. I don't care. I really don't care for the men's. I don't care who wins it right now. I don't want it to be LA Knight. I think his time has passed. I don't want it to be. It could be Logan Paul. Um, hmm. What was Southampton wearing? Sorry, I missed Rob. Was dressed like a crossdresser again. Well, I work in the fashion industry, and Seth really owns his flamboyancy. It's part of the character and the charm. But yeah, he was kind of dressed like a crossdresser. But Roman dresses like a guy who's given up. So there's ebbs and flows. I want to dress like Roman when I'm home alone, and I would never dress like Seth. But you know, his cousin's wearing stupid ass fucking shirts too. So it runs in the family. So let's see. Oh, Braun, yeah, Braun's not a bad shot. Melo, I think I don't know if Melo's Money in the Bank winner ready. Braun could just he could break all the rungs on the way up and then accidentally rip the briefcase off because he's so fucking strong. Jay with the Braun love, break it doesn't need Money in the Bank. True, but fuck it, But maybe Melo, I don't know if Melo's gonna come right in and win the world title. I think he'll be a world champion at some point, but I don't think right away. That's the issue. Do you want to burn people out too bright too soon and have them go for the title, or do you want a slow build? And I don't even mean super slow. I literally mean 2 years into their run. We Breaker versus Gunther. That could be the world heavyweight title match that we get one day. That could be a world heavyweight title match this time next year. Who knows? Because Gunther will be world champion by this time next year for sure. But anyway, we're just gonna go to the main event real quick. I've talked a lot. Heel Rollins would be okay with Money in the Bank and then go after Roman. Man, you keep pushing this Roman's gonna win agenda, and I'm not for it. But I get it. But that's an idea. Rollins is always a viable Money in the Bank winner. Ooh, that's a great question. Who's going to be world champion first, Gunther or Punk? Probably Gunther, or no, Punk. Punk, because Drew's going to win, and then Punk's going to beat him. But maybe it's tough to say. It's really tough to say because Punk might just get hurt again. His body might just, he's got that bad arm. It's probably his right arm, but I felt like stretching this arm. All right, so the main event, last woman standing, Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. And let me just say, this match was good. It took a little bit to get going, but when it got going, it got good. Nia Jax, you would think, would be able to swing a chair like a normal person. But oh boy, she cannot. She does a little hop. She hops into all of her chair shots, like a little hop. What? In all her chair shots. It was weird. It was weird. I didn't get it. It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, you're so strong. You're so big. Why are your chair shots so dainty and petite? But I guess it's better than her injuring someone, especially if that person is going to fight for a title in 3 weeks at WrestleMania. But I've been a Nia, I'm not apologist, but I've been giving her props that this runs have been pretty good, especially compared to what we expected. But that was the only thing where I was like, oh, that's a little weird. I don't know how to tell you this, Jay, but you can't really cheat in a last woman standing match. It's not really rules per se to be broken. Also, Jay, you get all these matches thrown with no build up. Yikes! I mean, the women's match has been. This is the part of the build. There's build up there, but yeah, with the tag stuff and all their other stuff on the card. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. It doesn't make sense. Uh Andrade, just a random Andrade comment? Or no, on delay. Oh my god, sorry. Sorry, wrestling brain. I thought you were saying Andrade. Apologies. I'm bad at being Spanish. But greetings, Fabiana. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Gunther wins the World Heavyweight title in Germany. That was the idea. But then, like, who's he going to beat, at that point? It's Bash in Berlin, so they're going to Berlin. But it's just like, I don't know who's going to beat at that point. Oh yeah, right. The Jimmy J stuff. You had so much time to build that shit up, and then it feels like you're waited so long. LA Knight, who cares, right? U.S. title, whatever. It is what it is. But like I said, I'm with you there. But anyway, Becky, Becky wrestles a very generous style where she gives a lot to her opponents. She gave Nia Jax a lot in this match so that she can still look dominant. And Nia, there's a good spot where there's a table in the corner. Becky charges at Nia, but Nia just caught her and Simone dropped her to the table. And halfway through the count, Nia was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to go for the finishing touch. Dragged her away, dragged her to the other corner, hit the bonsai drop, and then was like, count it. Becky rolled out of the ring at 9 to get on her feet, so didn't really stand up from it per se. Used like the, to make her finisher still look strong because, that's just the style Becky wrestles. She wasn't never going to kick out of her finisher, in this case, properly stand up from her finisher. And then Nia stood up from a manhandle slam from the apron through the table on the outside, which got a holy shit chant that even happened, that the spot happened. And then Nia, I really was like, okay, cool. I'm going to fast forward. Match is over. And then Rhea's music's going to hit. But no, the match was still going. I was like, what the fuck? And then Nia stumbled her way towards the announce table and leaned over it just enough for Becky to hit a leg drop off the ladder that had been set up previously. And that got Nia down for the count. So what that did was set up, it made Becky look great going into Mania, and it made Nia look good in defeat, which Nia has been on the run of a lifetime. But now, let's say Becky beats Rhea. I'm not so sure she will, but let's say she does. You can go back to the Becky Nia well, because Becky has never pinned Nia Jackson. That'll easily be what Nia says post Mania in a world where Becky wins the title. Or if Rhea's still champion, she can say, I didn't lose that match. I wasn't pinned or submitted. Becky never beat me. So that gives her something, and that's just good. That's good setting up for the future. There's plates in motion. And I think this is a better version of what they tried to do with Bianca Sasha a few years ago, where their feud wasn't about them and they were instead feuding with like Carmella and like James Ellsworth somehow, and it never got away from that. Whereas now the Rhea Becky stuff has been getting away from Nia and Liv by going through Nia and Liv to make Becky look more credible, because she did have to lose to Nia at the start of this year. So it was a decent main event that served its purpose. It gave Becky a huge win. It was a fun spot-filled match at the end. Similar to a lot of Raw matches. It's a little quiet in the beginning, but as the intensity amplifies, the crowd amplifies with it. So, good spots there. Besides her weak-ass chair shots, Nia looked good. Becky always sells for everyone she wrestles with. She wants everyone to look good. Oof. Yeah, don't remind me. Don't remind me of Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I don't want to think about that match at all. Charlotte and Andrade versus Rhea and Dom would be interesting. I don't care about Charlotte or Andrade, though. That's the thing. AJ Styles deserves better. I agree. Stuck feuding with LA Knight, bro. Like, come on. He's going to lose to him, too. That's garbage. What's Bianca going to do at Mania? Either face Jade or tag with Jade. I would like them to tag, because I feel like they haven't announced a women's tag title match. I feel like that's going to be a 4-way. So you could probably have, like, Casey and Kaden, the way. Took me forever to think about that. And then you can have Jade and Bianca or something, or Naomi and Bianca or something. I don't know. But Bianca's teasing something of a heel turn, maybe, which is very interesting. So we'll see. Where's Alexa Bliss? Raising a child. I really don't miss her. She was good for a time, but she was someone that got pushed too much too soon, like we were talking about earlier, and it became a little much. Okay, this is fucked up. I'd rather see Rhea and Dom versus Carmella and Ellsworth because that feels like more equal footing than Charlotte and Andrade. That's how much I don't like Andrade. That Ellsworth, someone I never want to see again. I'd rather see the Charlotte and Andrade. Oof. I wouldn't mind Carmella coming back though. She's the queen of reinventing herself, so she can have some good stuff. But it was fun times. I'm glad they gave the women's match the main event. That's the one good thing I think Raw does a decent job of is cycling through what main events. Last week the IC title main evented. This week the women did. And then other weeks it'll be Cody. It's not always Cody. It's not always Seth. They have a balance on Raw, which is one thing they had before they had the World Heavyweight title. They always had that balance. Like I think of 2021 and 2022, like I think the women main evented like 14 shows or some shit, and then like the US title main evented a bunch of shows. And that's one thing Raw's been good at. One thing it's bad at is being easy to watch show because it's 3 hours. And there's no saving that middle portion of the show, unfortunately. That'd be cool in the future when Montez is the main eventer, because I do think Montez Ford will be world champion one day. So when he's more on that level, absolutely. It's funny. It's funny how I like Bianca and Becky's trajectories. They've gone from, it's just funny. This 26-second squash match has done more for Bianca than people ever give her credit for, because they just want to complain. But look at where she's at now, and look at the way she looks at Becky and credits her and gives her advice. But she also credits everyone. Bianca gets it. Like she's not just thinking about herself. She's counting the she respects the people who came before her and gives credit where it's due. So she's pretty cool in that regard. I love Ludwig Kaiser, man. Like he's amazing. But yeah, so many couples. It's funny enough. I think it was Becky did an interview in the New York Post or some shit, and they're just like, "Oh, there's a lot of couples in WWE." And she's like, yeah, we're all athletes in great shape, and a lot of us are good looking, and we live in a weird world, and this is so different than normal everyday lives. So of course, we're gonna end up getting together. Like there's just an understanding there. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. It's a weird job to have, but yeah, that was Raw, and it sounded better than it was watching it, talking about it. I think this was more fun than actually watching it this week. So, thanks everyone for sticking around. Chrome Knuckle, please join us, man. Subscribe. We'll be here Wednesdays. Not so much sometimes Fridays. Sometimes we'll indulge in SmackDown with you, but we watch Dynamite, we watch Raw, we watch the pay-per-views. We're here. Come chat with us. This was fun. I had a good time. Jay, you're the man. Always fucking phenomenal to see you. James, I feel like you shouldn't be up this late. It's probably a school night, but thanks anyway for being here. I hope you don't get grounded for that. But thanks so much. This Dynamite. Oh, that fucking I Quit match, bro. Let's go, Christian. I don't care who wins, but let's go, Christian. It's gonna be fun. But subscribe, like videos, check us out. We got social media. It's not in the description right now, but it will be at some point. Our producer is a little lazy tonight. So come hang out with us. Thanks so much. Guys, don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals. Have a good night. And also just enjoy things, right? I think it was more fun to enjoy this or to commiserate together than to just be miserable. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Everyone had a good time. Okada's gonna win? I think so. Okada's gonna win. I'll be here. All right. We'll see you Wednesday. Everyone, take care. I love you guys. Good night. I'm not playing the outro, by the way. We have an outro. I'm not playing it. I'm just gonna end the stream. So